Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophia and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If this is your first time here, hello, and if you've been here already, thank you for tuning in again. Today's video is a get to know me as promised, and yeah, let's dive in. Before we dive in, I have a few questions that I wrote down just to, I don't know, things that I think will give someone a better understanding of me, just a little bit about myself. And as we get along, you'll get to know me better. I must say that I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable today, but I'm still nervous, so bear with me, please. Anyway, first question is, what's my name? My name is Sophia Carito. Second question, what's my age? I'm 28, turning 29 in a few days. Where was I born? I was born in Uganda. Born and raised in Uganda. And I moved here when I was 19. I was 19 in 2013. That's when I moved here to live with my mom, who has been here for years. So yeah, I moved here right after high school. I did my high school in Uganda. Actually even got admitted into a university over there, but I didn't really attend. I only attended for one semester, and then we were processing the documents to move here, so then I moved here after 2013 basically. Where do I live? I'm currently filming this in Seattle, but I also live in the DMV. So yeah, let me say DMV, Virginia to be specific. I went to school there, everything is in the DMV, so yeah. When did I move here? I guess I already answered that. In 2013. I moved here to live with my mom. Me and my sister came here then. Yeah. And now let me not dive in because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to that. What's my star sign? I am a Capricorn. What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about a lot of things, but in this moment, what comes mostly to my head is I'm passionate about connection, like connecting with other people, passionate about meeting new people. I'm passionate about life, like just anything that has life. What else? I just wrote these questions down, but I didn't think about them because then I would just come here and it seems like a rehearsed video. But what am I passionate about? I'm just really passionate about life, like living an intentional life. And I know that is broad, but I'm passionate about connection. I'm really, really, really passionate about connection because that really can change the game if you've mastered it. And I think I'm good at connecting. That has come with time, of course. You can't just be good. It's more like a try and error process, right? You get some things wrong, some things right, but you learn from it. So yeah, I'm really passionate about connection. Hence this YouTube channel, because I already have a podcast with my friend, and that actually is one of my inspirations to do this because we connected with so many people through the podcast, and I thought, why not take it to video? Because you see me, and yeah, it's easier to connect with me when you're looking at me, right? I don't, you see, I say I'm passionate about connection, but now that I say that, I think the people who know me in my personal life know that sometimes I'm not very communicative, and I know communication and connection go together, but I don't really like connecting over the phone. No, that's not my thing. I like eye contact and body language. Like, I observe a lot. So it's hard for me to connect with someone if it's through text or through phone conversations. So yeah, I guess that's something to work on, because these are the times of phones and stuff. So you kind of have to, get with the program. Yeah, but I guess that's one of my weaknesses. Anyway, let's move on. What do I do for a living? I graduated in 2019 from George Mason University in health administration and policy with a concentration in systems management. So right now, I say that to let you know that I am in healthcare. I have been in healthcare for years. I entered healthcare I first volunteered at a hospital, at their cancer unit, the oncology unit, and I liked it. And then I went on to be a pharmacy technician. I've also, for my internship, I was at how do I describe it? This place was basically just giving help to people in marginalized communities, like homeless people who don't have food, shelter, who need help with, finding a place to live. Maybe they're living in violent homes. So I've been exposed a lot in different sides of healthcare. So yeah, right now that's what I'm doing. I'm still in healthcare. I've worked in hospitals. Yeah, I have a lot of experience there, and I really love my job, I must say. If my bosses are watching, I don't think I'll be able to do this if I didn't have a good job, because your job definitely contributes to a big part of your mental health. So I'm so happy I have a really good job that's very flexible, that that works with me. So yeah, I am in healthcare. I don't think anybody really cares about the nitty-gritty of what exactly that I do, but yeah. My biggest accomplishment. I guess I should have made that broader, like in my personal life or my career. In my personal life, I would say getting to know myself has been one of my biggest accomplishments, because it really has fed all sides of my life, and my confidence is up because of that. So my biggest accomplishment is me, the work I've done. In my career or in my social life or whatever, I would say my biggest accomplishment has been our podcast and this channel, I guess, because I've grown a lot from that and I've healed a lot from that. If I die today, I'll definitely be, I'll feel successful. I feel successful. So yeah, my podcast, the connections I've made, the friends I have are also a big accomplishment for me, because it's not easy to have friends, especially friends for years. All my friends, I've known them for years, and knowing people for years doesn't mean like it's a great friendship, but in my case it is true. I've also known people for like a year and they're still good friends. So let me not say like the longer is the better, no. But what I mean is that maintaining those friendships is a big accomplishment for me, because my friends feed me like emotionally and mentally. Like, they're a big part of my life. In fact, most of them inspired me to do this. Like, they pushed me to finally do this. So yeah, I have so many accomplishments now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, biggest fear. My biggest fear is not reaching my full potential. That is my biggest fear. Not doing the things I have the gifts to do. Another fear is not doing my best, half-assing. I don't like that. That's a fear for me. There was a time I would say death, but now I'm very comfortable with death. I'm not scared of that anymore. But yeah, not reaching my best potential, my fullest, highest potential is a fear of mine. I think that's why I push myself to do this, because it's been, I wanted to do this in 2016, to start my channel in 2016, imagine. And I didn't. Well, the reasons were not good. I just finished my associate's degree, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I was like, if I'm gonna go to a 4-year university and I'm not sure what to do, let me start a YouTube channel. I was inspired by so many women, but I'll say Aisha Haroon was one of the biggest inspirations that I had at the time. And I told my mom, I don't want to go back to school. I want to start a YouTube channel. I don't want to finish my degree. I was like, no. Yeah, she was not okay with it. And I actually understand that now, because if I didn't finish my degree, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now and the experience. Like, college was a great experience. Community college is great, but moving on to the big university, it changes the game. Like, there's a lot to learn when you're with so many people in these big classes, and there's just so much I learned from Mason. So I'm happy I went. I was not ready to start a channel. I was not confident. I think people would have broken me if I had started then, because people have a lot of opinions, you know, and if you're not ready for that, if you don't know yourself, that could shake you, right? So for me, I'm happy that I actually did that. I went and got my degree. I became more confident, definitely because of college, because our course had a lot of presentations, a lot of group discussions. Like, it gets you out of your shell. So yeah, that definitely contributed to me. So thank you, Mom. Ooh, and also thank you to my sister, who's in the next room, who found the right let me say, what the right course for me to do, because I wanted something in healthcare, but not something that was clinical. That would be a story for another day, but yeah, I wanted something more in the service rather than like being a nurse, because that was my original intention. Anyway, moving on. This one was just added there, cats or dogs. Cats, I wanted to, it's important that if you're watching, you know that I love cats. I mean, I love dogs too, they're cute, but I'm definitely a cat person. I would definitely have a cat in the future, inshallah. Favorite subject in school? English. And I say that because I performed well in it. Doesn't mean that I really enjoyed it. I just did well in it compared to the other subjects. So I thought it was my favorite, but I don't really think I had a favorite thing at school, especially in Uganda. Like, I just wanted to get good grades. That's what I was aiming for. But I was just naturally good at English and writing and stuff like that. So yeah, but I actually liked math. I did like math, especially at the end of high school. I enjoyed math, actually. Scratch that, not English. Math. I like math. In fact, I did really well in all my math classes, even in college, until calculus. Calculus came along and I was like, what is going on? Maybe I'm not even good in math now that I say, because calculus is a big part of math. Calculus made me change my entire degree, because I was like, whoa, I'm failing, and I'm only in calculus 1. I still have calculus 2, and you know, it only gets bigger. I need to figure this out, because I was failing. Pre-calculus I got A's, you know, and stuff, but hey, calculus. Shout out to you math guys, because woocha, a lot of people hate math, and yeah. Anyway, worst subject in school. There's a few subjects I didn't like then, because the system in Uganda is more about cramming rather than understanding, and I crammed a lot, which is why I did so well in things like history, English, but bring biology, chemistry, physics, huh? If I do well, a D. I was very proud of myself when I got a D. So That says something. I don't want to say it's my worst subject, but I didn't do well. And I think because when you don't do well in something, it was easy to judge it that you don't like it. But I think at the time, maybe I should have questioned the systems of how we were learning, how we were being taught, because all that contributes to how you like a subject, right? So when I came here, I was like, oh, I wasn't that dumb. Actually, it's the system, like how they were teaching things. I'm a visual learner, and that's not what it is in Uganda. It's a lot about cramming, okay? So yeah, I guess I don't think I had a worse subject, but at the time, if high school me is speaking, I'll definitely say physics, chemistry, biology, the sciences. Ooh, not good at all. Tea or coffee? Tea. I'm a tea girl. I mean, I like coffee too, but tea for sure. Last book I read. What was the last book I read? I'm currently reading The Road Less Traveled. I've read it before, but I'm reading it again. I like The Seat of the Soul. What else do I like? I have a few books that I like that are kind of popular, and then some that are not really. But I'll definitely say Seat of the Soul was very, like, I resonated a lot, with so many things when I read that book. I was like, yeah. And then there's some things I was like, eh. But part of self-love is questioning everything, because some things are other people's truth, but it's not your truth, right? So yeah. Okay, next one. Who has left the most impact in your life? Wow. Who has left? Just one person? Just one person? That's not fair. A lot of people have made an impact in my life. The women in my life, I was raised by women. My mom, my aunt, my grandmother, my sisters, my cousins. I come from a line of women. Like, I guess I don't have to say that, but yeah, my dad was not present, so I come from a line of women. So I would definitely say they've had the biggest impact in my life. My friends, my family, strangers too. There's a list here, so I think I'm not even answering this right, but if I had to choose, I would say my late aunt. There's a lot of things I learned from her. And some lessons came, like, I understood them after her passing, so. But yeah, my mother, like, a lot of women I've learned from. Let me just say the women in my life. Yeah, because singling people out makes others feel excluded, but it's not about others, it's just really the truth. Like, all of these women in my life have contributed. Like, my friends, damn, like, the women in my life is the answer to that question. Favorite things about yourself? What? Favorite things? I have a few favorite things. Physically, I love my skin. I love my how do I say this without let's skip that. But I love my skin when we talk about, and it's been a journey to here, so I want to say that I love my skin because there's a lot that comes with loving your skin, especially when you're taught not to. Yeah, I really, really love the richness of my skin and everything that comes with it. I love my confidence, and by that I mean that I show up as I am. I no longer look to be perfect. Like, I'm okay with making mistakes. Like, I'm confident in my mistakes. Does that make sense? Like, I'm just confident in myself, like the person I am now, the person I've become. I really like that about myself. What else? What else do I like? Wow, maybe I should have thought of these before recording. I like how I connect with people. I believe I can talk to anyone. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go force a conversation out of someone, but I'm not scared of anyone. I'm not scared of anyone. I'm not intimidated by anyone. I don't think anyone is better than me. I don't think I'm better than anyone. So with that, when I meet someone, no matter the status, I still see you as a human. You know, I don't think you're better than me. So I think that is a great quality of mine. I like that. You know, because putting people on a pedestal is what we do these days. We stand people. People are just as flawed as we are, you know? And I think that can be unhealthy. We'll dive in as we go on. Least favorite things about myself. I'm not great at communicating when it comes to phone. I'm the kind who will take 2 weeks, even a month, before I respond because I get overwhelmed so fast. If I see 5 people texting me at the same time, it's very likely I'm not gonna answer any of them unless it's urgent. But I get overwhelmed having so many conversations at the same time, so that makes me take long to answer, and then people really take it personally. But especially when I was in college, when you have so many things going on, you're in school, you're working, you have your personal life, like sometimes I just can't do texting. Takes time. Maybe a phone conversation might be better. So that is the big weakness of mine, and I want to work on that this year because phones are here to stay, you know. But these days I communicate like, damn, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Is this an urgent message? Can I respond to it later? I've seen your message, I'll respond to it. And people are understanding when you communicate rather than just not responding. So I definitely see where people are coming from. But you know, this is about me. When I respond to messages and I don't want to, you can tell in the texts. It's gonna be dry. You know, I'm not gonna engage as much. So I choose to talk to people when I want to. And you know, like I said, I'm working on it. And yeah, pray for me because that's a really, really big problem that I have. Least favorite thing, another thing I don't like about myself. Sometimes I procrastinate too much, you know, too much. Like I stand in my own way. Maybe I'm speaking to you too, because I'm not alone in this. Like some of us are in our own way. You don't do things that you know are gonna get you to where you want to be. And then you have to deal with the guilt of not doing the things that you know could be helping you. Like it's a cycle, and I don't know. I don't think well, it's something to work on. Like I said, I started this channel out of procrastination. Like imagine I wanted to start it in 2016 and it's 2023, but at least I did the podcast. We did the podcast because that also took a while to, you know, fear. The more you don't face it, the bigger it grows. If you're scared of doing something, the more you don't do it, the more you're gonna be scared of it. So yeah, if you've watched my previous video, I was literally sweating buckets because of fear, but now I'm getting more comfortable because I'm facing it. I hope you learn from me. And that way you don't have to deal with regret or what if I'd started last year, what if this, what if that. Yeah. Least favorite thing, another thing I don't like, let me see if there's something else I can think of off the top of my head that I don't like about myself that I'm working on, you know. What, I guess in this moment I'll just say that, but I'm going to be very transparent on my experiences, so I'll definitely share my flaws as we go on. Next question. I wrote this, but I can't read it. Describe yourself. Oh yeah, describe myself in a sentence. I can't believe I wrote that because nothing can describe me in a sentence. A sentence is not enough. Maybe a paragraph. And also, if I describe myself, then I'm limiting myself to that. But I would say I am a no. That let's skip that. Next question.